Afghanistan is not worth a single additional American life. Fighting Al-Qaeda is, but not Afghanistan. That's what we'll talk about in the lunch video today. In our book, Screwed, which came out 2 days ago, we expose, really for the first time in an American book, the depth of the corruption of the Afghan regime and the Karzai presidency. Transparency International, which ranks the 189 countries of the world on their degree of corruption, ranks Afghanistan 180th, the second most corrupt, 188th, the second most corrupt country in the world. The entire government is a drug dealer. Karzai's brother was the head of the drug trade, and the drug trade continues all over the place. Afghanistan accounts for almost 2/3 of the world's opium production, and it does so as really a state-sponsored industry. Karzai's entire government is filled with his family, his relatives. Bribery and thievery have just reached unbelievable proportions. Afghanistan is not worth a single American's life. Now, what everybody's going to say when they hear that is, yeah, but we have to be there to stop the Taliban from taking over, because if the Taliban takes over, they'll shelter Al-Qaeda and we'll go right back to the days before 9/11. Not true. There's another way to do it, which we propose in our book. The United States should transfer its mission from counterinsurgency against the Taliban to counter-terrorism against Al-Qaeda. Maintain a large American force on the Paki-Afghan border, on the Afghan side of it. Don't go out after the Taliban and don't fight them in the streets of Kandahar. Instead, stay on the border and launch drone attacks against Al-Qaeda, which for the most part is in Pakistan. There are very few Al-Qaeda now in Afghanistan. Now, the Taliban may well take over the government, but what do we care? If the Taliban shelters Al-Qaeda, we'll attack Al-Qaeda there. If the Taliban tries to throw us out of their country, they won't be able to. The United States will easily be able to defend its positions. And use our military resources not to try to salvage the most corrupt government in the world, or the second most corrupt government in the world, in Kabul, but instead use our resources to go after Al-Qaeda and assassinate their leaders, as we are now doing very effectively and very successfully. This whole experiment in nation building, it really amounts to supporting a regime that none of us would support if we knew the full facts about that regime. And that's why we wrote it up in Screwed, and we quote a lot of military sources, a lot of military experts who believe that the plan we're suggesting in our book is accurate, valid, and will be an effective way of going after Al-Qaeda and stopping this business of defending the government in Afghanistan, a country nobody's ever been able to conquer, and frankly, they can have it. So our book is called Screwed, came out 2 days ago, and please read it because it'll give you some very interesting perspectives on this. Available at dickmorris.com. Thanks a lot.